Hey all, this is my story. My personal video statement will focus on three key areas. Why am I ready to lead? My leadership for what? And what kind of contribution do I want to make, as well as that I've already started making. So to start off, we have why am I ready to lead? And this can be summed up in the story of my experience running for student ambassador. During that process, I learned two very important things about leadership. Number one, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. During that week, I decided to forego an opportunity to go to an international leadership conference. Although it was a spectacular opportunity, I realized that I would have a regret if I didn't end up running for student ambassador. The second thing that I learned is that sometimes the end is not always what you want, but it's more about the journey. As many of you know, I did not win ambassador that day, but that's not to say that I regret the whole process. I learned that some things are sometimes out of our control, but it's more about the journey than the destination. I learned how to have the confidence to speak in front of a group of people and to really express my passion for this university, regardless of the outcome. It was one of the experiences that truly defined my time at K-State. After my ambassador experience, I chose to apply those two concepts, the idea of sacrifice, as well as that leadership is a journey rather than a destination, to something that is truly important to me, my faith. After my intense summer of having my faith shaken after my freshman year, I then decided to develop my leadership for what?
After my summer experience of pretty much getting my identity questioned as a Christian, I had a really big aha moment that in our world today, Christians are viewed very much as kind of checking off a spiritual checklist as something that is to be admired by the masses, when in fact, I had the realization that Christianity is about being selfless rather than trying to increase our self-appearance in the world. So after that summer and having my faith shaken up, I decided that it was time to live out my faith through service. I became involved with the St. Isidore's mission trip that following spring break when I went to St. Louis and got to serve with the sisters and help the homelessness in St. Louis, as well as this past winter I had the opportunity to serve with down through the Alternative Break Program through Leadership Studies and serve in Tarrant County with the homelessness down in Fort Worth, Texas. Because I realized that in our world, Christianity doesn't have a good perception at all. It's perceived as a religion, and there's a bad connotation with religion. So with that, my leadership, for what is my leadership? It is to be a Christian by action and not necessarily by name.
So, how am I living out being a Christian by action and not by name, you ask? Remember early on this semester where I was asked if I could be anything in the world, I would be a public speaker. Well, I've taken that deep desire and deep love of public speaking and combined it with my deep love of faith and have already made a contribution in the form of a talk that I gave on April 6th. On that day, I was asked to give a talk to 200 high school students at the Salina Diocese retreat. Here's just a small excerpt of my talk.
There are people that are watching you every step of the way. Now, I know that sounds really creepy, but the moment that you identify that you're Catholic, people start to ask questions. People are interested. People want to know, oh my gosh, you're Catholic and you're practicing your faith. What does that look like? Let me show you a couple of examples.
What does the future hold, you may ask? Maybe a future TED Talk. Who knows? But this much I do know. I know why I'm ready to lead, what my leadership for what is, and what contributions I could possibly make. The education that I've been given about leadership at K-State is second to none, and I can only wait to see what God has in store for me.